the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, His Lordship the His Lordship the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, Right Honorable Prime Minister Designate, and all the big and small people. I want to thank the Honorable Rugorovi Amos. You heard how he very well presented the budget. My job is, you had the budget, so the comments I make are just to clarify a few points. The first point is an ideology and a strategic one, which I always try to clarify whenever I get opportunity. The issues I've seen in Uganda here for the last 70 years have been mainly, which some people don't grasp very well, and that's why we waste quite a bit of time. It seems there is a struggle between the producers of wealth and the parasites. Fortunately, by a good historical accident, I belonged to the producers of wealth. In Tungamo, where I was born and partially grew up in the 1940s and 1950s, you had the following wealth creators. People who are creating wealth, not eating what they don't produce. You had cattle keepers, in which activity I was involved. Myself, directly. There is no work involving cattle which I didn't do myself with my own hands. Then we had crop farmers for food. Bananas, sweet potatoes, millet. Millet was very much used at that time in those areas. These were wealth creators. We had a few people who were catching a shonzi. A shonzi are mud fish. I think they call it the mud fish. We had some families who were doing that. We didn't have proper fishermen because we were a bit far from the water, but we had these people who were catching fish. Then we had artisans, blacksmith, Abahesi, a man called Manyoro. We had carpenters who are making wooden buckets, making milk pots, making all sorts of wooden products. And then in Ntungamo, we didn't have any cash crop growers in the 1940s, 50s, no. We were all abakorera chida, chonka, working only for the stomach. But in some of the neighboring sub-counties like Ndeja and also in Igara, Chamhunga, Cheizova, a few areas of Shema, they had started some cash crops. We were hearing cash crops like coffee, and in Chamhunga, tea was started in the 1950s. So we were wealth creators, all of us, many of us. Then we had a few service people who are doing servicing. We had a few Indians, I think there were like 4, plus 2 Arabs. The Indians were Abdallah, Mahmoud Ali. The Arabs were, one was called Bumbakare, which is the Chinyankoranization of Abu Bakr. They were calling him Bumbakare. Then we had a Nubian in Kakuru, Kamisi, whom the Banyankore called Charakitanava, because he was so black that the nails were black. They thought he didn't wash. So they were calling him the one without washed nails, Charakitanava. But he was providing a service of transport. When we visited the national park as a class in 1958, I think it was his Opero vehicle which took us. So, the majority of us were wealth creators in agriculture, artisanship, or services. And in this, we were assisted by partners. People used to come from Kampala here, a man called Warusimbi Mpanga. He would come and buy our cows and bring them to Kampala for slaughter. So that one was our partner. We had another man called Buchenya in Mbarara. He was a Muslim, a fat Muslim man. His real name is, these are Baganda of Ankole. His real name was Bukenya. But because Banyankore cannot easily pronounce Bukenya, they say Buchenya. So that one was also buying cows, bringing them to Mbarara. And then there was a European called Shea, who was buying cows and taking them to Chirembe for slaughter there. So these were our partners. And we were selling, I used to sell milk sometimes to the Indians and also to some other groups like Sambanyarwanda who had migrated there. A Mnyarwanda called Kanyandeku. I used to take milk there and sell it to him because he wanted it. So therefore, because we were wealth creators, and we had our partners. We had no problem of sectarianism. You couldn't hear people talking of Indians, that Indians are a problem. No. Because the Indians were the ones bringing us what we did not have. Those Indians, Budara and so on. And all these groups, the Baganda, you hear, Warusimbi, and the others are the ones who are buying our cows. At that time, the Banyankuru were not so much in trade. Then you had the Banyarwanda buying some of our products. So ideologically, because we are people involved in wealth creation, we have no time for sectarianism. Because we need one another. If I am anti-Baganda, who will buy my cows? If I am anti-Indians, who will bring what I don't have? Who will bring the salt? Who will bring the textiles? Who will bring the paraffin? That time we were still using tadobas. So therefore, this ideology of sectarianism was part of the pseudo-ideology pushed by parasites. This is why I want us really to focus on this difference between producers of wealth versus parasites. The producers of wealth are wealth creators and also job creators. You can imagine that even at that very low level of economic activity, we were creating jobs. We would sell our cows to Warusi in Bimpanga, but there were no lorries at that time to carry cows. So Warusi in Bimpanga would have to employ people to drive the cows, to walk the cows. They call it Okufunya. These people would walk the cows all the way from Ntungamo to Kampala. These were jobs. You can imagine, even in our very, very low level, we were already creating jobs. I look after cows. We sell them to Warusi Mpanga. Warusi Mpanga employs people to walk the cows all the way to Kampala. So, how do the parasites, how do the opportunists come in, the sectarian people, to bring tribes, religion? How do they come in? It was because I think you cannot easily bring sectarianism where I am. Because I will tell you to go to hell, because I am a producer of wealth. I owe nothing to nobody. In fact, I think if we are not busy with the school system, I don't think this sectarian politics would have taken root in a place like Ankole. And that's why, when the NRM came, sectarianism politics disappeared. Because what are you saying? I owe nothing to you. I am here looking after my cows. I'm here growing my crops. I am here an artisan. What are you telling me? To be against the other one, He's the one who is buying my products. You are a shaitani. Go away. So that's how the NRM came and really scorched this nonsense. Now, when the NRM won, two groups tried to fight the NRM. The parasites, and I think some of the confused people who didn't know enough about us. Like they would go to the north and tell people in Acholi, these people are coming to kill you and so on. So they create fear. But with time, as you have seen, the people in the north were able to know who the NRM are. Then those groups who are fighting NRM tried to organize a rebellion. We defeated the rebellion by 3 things: mobilizing the people, using combined arms, and improving technology. So when the rebellion was defeated, what you have now is isolated crime. Like you have seen here in Kampala, the people have been killed. The Muslim sheikhs were killed that time. Joan Kagezi, Kawesi, Kirumira. Now recently the attempt on Katumba and the killing of the daughter and the driver. This is definitely by parasites. Because we are busy producing wealth. People are busy. Farmers are busy. Fishermen are busy. The people with small factories are busy. So who are you? Instead of working, you go to attack people. Who are you? You want to cause fear. You want to stop the Ugandans. If it was not for Corona, in fact now I'm a bit lonely now, because otherwise they dance the whole night and noise and so on, and the girls of Kwemansora, that's what Ugandans like. They like nice life. Now these days I just sleep, there is no noise because of Corona. When Corona goes, I want my people to go back to freedom, to pleasure making. That's what I want them to do. So therefore, I am here to tell the parasites that we shall crush them. Because we crushed the rebellion. You remember the rebellion was openly challenging us. Now this one is like a jigger. In the primary school, I had a few times I had a problem of jigger entered my feet. Now, when the jigger enters your foot, the whole foot is itching. The whole foot. Now, if you are not clever, you say, let me cut off the whole foot because the jigger has entered me. Then you will make a mistake. What you do, you go carefully. You see where the jigger is. I was an expert in handling that one. You go carefully, you see where the Banyankore say the eye of the, first of all you see where the jigger is. But even when you know where it is, you don't go just anyhow. You go for the eye, they call it the eye of the jigger. There is where it is, I think it is breathing through that space. This is the one you start with. You start with the eye, you don't go to. So this is how we are handling this problem of the criminals. That's why we don't put roadblocks. You see, you can be provoked, you put roadblocks, you put what? People don't move. No. I will not put roadblocks. No, because roadblocks stop the one who is guilty and the one who is not guilty. Narumanya, Nesarumanya, no. We shall never use roadblocks. We must look for the eye of the jigger. And in order to do, when I addressed the parliament in I think it was 2018, I laid out the steps. The step number one are the human sources. The human sources. People will tell you, the one who saw, the one who heard. But as the Honorable Gorobi was saying, in the budget, we are put for technical means, which we have already started deploying. The cameras. You have seen how those cameras have helped us to see what was happening. And once the police wakes up and uses them more effectively, you will see how they will help us to control crime. But also, in my 2018 speech, I spoke about the digital monitors to be installed in every vehicle, every piki-piki. That project was delayed. I don't know why it delayed. General Tumwine was handling it. Even Katumba was involved in that project. This morning I was talking with the new Minister of State proposed Minister for Internal Affairs, David Mose. What happened to my project? Why has it not been implemented? Because I don't want any more wasting time in investigations. Every vehicle must have a digital monitor. Every piki-piki must have a digital monitor, centrally monitored. If you try to remove it, we shall see you and go for you. You touch it like this, the system will show us that somebody is trying to remove that digital monitor. And the digital monitor will show us where you are at any one time if we are interested in you. We have no interest in your clandestine activities. As long as you are not near the scene of the crime. As soon as there is a crime, we go. Which vehicles were here? So instead of wasting time, this one, wait, no, it will be much easier. So I really demand, this is I have told General Mhozi, the CDF and Minister designate for Minister of State, to check what has happened to that plan, because we would not be wasting time looking here. No. Which vehicle was here? Which vehicle, which piki-piki was here when this happened? Then we shall not be wasting time. It's not really that difficult to stop these parasites. I call them a name which I call them, you know, the other four-legged animal. It's not me, it is Jesus. Jesus is the one who said so in the Bible. He said, don't put your valuable things before pigs. Because the pigs don't appreciate value. So if you put value before pigs, they will trample on the valuable things. The third solution is forensic capacity. Forensic. Criminals will never commit a crime and not leave a trace. It's not possible. even these criminals who shot at Katumba, they were seen. One of them dropped a handkerchief, a cloth, dropped a cloth. It is on the videos. Lokech told me. I haven't seen those. I've not watched, but Lokech told me. So one of them dropped a cloth, but our people picked the cloth and took it away. The villagers, when they come, they should not have touched that cloth, because that cloth has got all the story about you, the thief. It has got your DNA, your sweat. You sweat there a little bit, bas, QAD. We shall take it to the laboratory. The DNA will tell us this was Museveni who was here. So the forensic capacity of the police has now improved. We can quickly, but you must respect the scene of crime. The person who took the cloth, Yat Korabubi. And if you still have it, please, bring it back. Although you have added your own sweat and your own what, maybe there's still some chance of, if you have not washed it, there may be a chance of helping us. Now, one of the techniques we developed after 2018, after this one, I got it from the police. I didn't know. The police are the ones who told me. They call it fingerprinting the guns. I didn't know that each gun had its own fingerprint. But these policemen knew. They told us in our security meeting, yeah, but we can fingerprint the guns. So I said, okay, you do it now. So they have fingerprinted most of all the, I think either all or most of the guns in Uganda. And what Lokech is telling me, they have already known the fingerprint of these guns which were used in the Katumba incident. They have already known the fingerprints. Then we have got other digital means which I don't want to talk about because the criminals are also listening. So I should not talk about everything. Kandekerao. But also, when it becomes necessary, the alertness of the public. Because if the public is alerted, although I don't want you to really be on tension, you can be doing your things, you dancing, you what, jumping. Continue with your things if it was not for Corona. But when you need you to be alert, we shall mobilize you. Like we did in the massacre. The other day when I was giving the Corona speech, I brought one of my girls, the one who helped us to kill Chidawarime, the one who was killing people in massacre. That was because of the mobilization of the public. So I don't want Uganda, therefore, we are working very hard. The new team of security, the new Minister of Internal Affairs, the Minister of Security, I want them to solve the issue of digital monitoring. Because I don't want Uganda to be a land of bodyguards, what? No. We should not have bodyguards going with us all over the place. we should have collective eyes which can see what is happening. Even if I don't have bodyguards with me, I will be guarded by the collective. So this bodyguarding and all that convoy is what? This is just temporary, because we still have those gaps in the security infrastructure. Therefore, the schemers of insecurity are wasting their time. They only provoke us to wake up and create more capacity. Like in Karamoja, there are people who are making a mistake. They will see what will happen to them. Because I have got the reports. I want those pharaohs, the ones who are working with the Turkanas, to stop. I also contact His Excellency Kenyatta. Those characters who are working with the Turkanas and then they steal cows, go and hide them in Kenya. Kenya these are our brothers. We shall go for you jointly with I would appeal to His Excellency Kenyatta to deal with those criminals in Karamoja. And you will see it will stop. We increased the army strength. We had brought down army strength to 40,000 in the past, because we didn't want to have, but now we have scaled up to a higher figure, and we can scale up if it becomes necessary. Now, the attack on Katumba was not an ordinary crime. It's not that it's crime. No. This was a definite political motive, and we shall know which pig was behind this one, because there are different pigs. Now, this business, people who use assassination, these are people who are not sure of themselves. They are the ones who use assassinations. NRM never uses assassinations, because we are sure of ourselves. Why should I kill you because you are opposing me? Why? If I am right and you are wrong, why do I kill you? I should preserve you so that you continue making your mistakes. And then the people see that I am the one who is right and you are the one who is wrong. When you kill somebody, actually you save him. Because when somebody dies, oh, that man would have done us very good things if he had lived. Maybe the man would have done nothing. But you kill him, you make him a hero. Because you don't allow him to do what he wants. You do what you want to do, let him also do what he wants. So that the people can see who is right and who is wrong. Now there are so many people I would have killed because they were annoying me. One of them is Sisi Ogwar. Sisi Ogwar, I used to call her Dako Marach, the bad woman, because she had really a bad tongue. But if I had killed Sisi Ogwar would be a hero now. People would be saying, if Sisi Ogwar had not died, great things would have happened. But now I'm here with Sisi Ogwar, people. It's really bankrupt to kill people. The Besige, if I had killed the Besige, Besigye would be a hero in the memory of the people. Oh, Besigye would have done a big thing if he had lived, but he was killed. That's how Jesus became a hero. If those Romans had not killed Jesus, I don't know what would have happened. So, bankrupt. If you see groups which use assassination, those are bankrupt groups. That means they are not sure. Why should I kill you? I am sure of what I am saying. You continue saying what you are saying, but say it peacefully. Please don't disturb our peace. Then we shall see who is right. If you are right, I will join you. I will leave what I'm doing and join you. If I'm right, you join me. What is the problem? Why should I kill anybody just because we don't agree? Now, the ministers have brought to you a list of ministers and vice president and prime minister and deputy prime ministers. I hear that many of you are Christians, but many people do not understand Christianity very well, although they talk about it. Jesus, when he started his movement, there were intellectuals. They were called Pharisees, highly educated people. There were other people called Sadducees. There were others called Levites. These were all, I don't know, I would ask the Archbishop to help us with describing to us those highly educated people. But Jesus went for the fishermen. Jesus did not recruit Pharisees. He did not recruit Levites. He did not recruit the other one, Sadducees. He went for Simon Peter. And he went for the other ones. Of course, he had also some intellectuals, because I'm told that Luke was a doctor. So please, when you look at my list, know that I'm in the path of Jesus Christ. But my list, because I was underground, I was working alone, because you know these things are quite when you are compiling the list, you are under very big threat. So I was operating underground alone. This is one area where I don't need assistance. Now there is one. Of course, it's a fantastic and pleasant job. You are so good. So many of you are so good. I don't know what to do. I look at this one, I say this one. But now the tribe, now the religion, the balance. In 1953, in 1952, I attended a pre-primary in a girls' school where we were only 4 boys. To be in a girls' school when you are boys, please, we really suffered. Those girls can be very bad. So in 1953, I graduated from 1B to 1A. And I went to the primary school, the P1 proper. And that's where I learned all the, what do they call them, these multiplication, dividing, those signs, the dividing, the subtracting, the adding. That's why I learned those. Now, in forming the cabinet, I really used those. I was adding, subtracting, then dividing, then coming back. So in the process, and the people are so good, really the NRM has done a fantastic job. You MPs, you are wonderful. You are a wonderful crop. So when I'm looking there, it's all my Endari. This one, but this one is good. But I must get the limited number. So in my short list, I had got somebody, one of our people, Kabyanga, who was recently our mayor in Kasese. He is on my short list, but in the final, because when I surfaced, when I came from underground, and I called Omona and one of my secretaries, you type this for me, because I was hiding from. Then I forgot the Kabyanga's name, but I would appeal, I want you to, Kasese must have somebody. Kabyanga's name was there, but because of that being underground, there are some disadvantages in being underground, but also some advantages. Because I surprised you. I surprised you with all my fishermen, my what. Now, in Amos Rugorobi's speech, which is a wonderful speech, as you heard, well delivered, on page 7, page 7, para 20, that's where you have the Banyankore proverb. Banyankore proverb, omugwera katweka enyanja ati n'oraba otahira wabaraguruka. A madman set fire to a swamp. And you know swamp grass does not burn easily. But it, Kuwarawaruka is burst, not burn properly, but somehow. So the NRM is like the madman. We have been struggling against social underdevelopment. Now, in paragraph 20, there is some evidence that although the swamp is not fully burnt, it has at least kubarabaruka. Because the Honorable Gorobi read, Mr. Speaker, the recently concluded household survey reports that poverty has declined from 21.4% in 2016-2017 to 20.3% in 2019-2020. Okay, that's interesting, but not as important as the next one. Poverty rates reduced in West Nile, Bunyoro, and Elgon regions, among others. However, 39% of Ugandan households are still in subsistence economy. You may not understand the importance of this. This is not a negative statement. The way it is written, it sounds negative, but actually it is positive. Because you remember, in 2013, 68% of the homesteads were in the subsistence economy. 68% were in subsistence economy. Now we are being told that according to the recent household census, only 39% are still in the household, what do you call it? Subsistence economy. Oh, which means now 61% are in the money economy. It is the 39 who are still in the subsistence. This is great news. This is great news. That means that we have really done something in the last, because we remember we started in 2013. That's when we started this campaign. And people were saying, but the things we are giving, where are they going? The Operation Wealth Creation has been giving. Because I was still using the old figures of 68% in homestead income. Now, apparently it's not that. What we have done has not been for nothing. People have moved in the money economy now. The household are 61%. It is the 39 which are still in the subsistence economy. That means we are really moving. But it may not be clear if you are not as alert as I was when he was reading. Now, finally, 2 points. The Honorable Gorobi was talking about the human capital, the training, the what. But another very happy phenomenon. Recently, I met some young people, doctors, led by a young girl, a doctor, Emukenyi. Emukenyi is a doctor. Do you know Bakenyi, you people? Many of you don't know our country. Yeah. But this young Mukenyi doctor and her colleagues, who came with some elders, including Professor Maswa, they said, now we have a new problem. I said, what is the new problem? There are too many doctors, they can't get jobs. I said, that cannot be true. We cannot have a problem of too many doctors. That some of them are not absorbed, they don't get jobs. So they stay floating on the streets. That one will be cured immediately. I didn't know. If we have got too many doctors, we are now going to have doctors at the sub-county. You remember Health Center 3? How can we say we have got too many doctors? I told Professor Maswa, have you told these young people what WHO tells us. WHO tells us that we should be having one doctor for every 500 population. So since Uganda now is 42 million people, I think they are using the figure 42 million, it means we should be having 84,000 doctors. But we are talking over only something like 5,000 in the government service. So the new minister, the new minister of health, the new prime minister, please, I don't want to hear the issue of unemployed doctors. Every doctor who qualifies must be taken on by the government. And then we scale them down to the sub-county. Let's have a doctor at each sub-county, not one. Because if you say the sub-counties are just 2,000, actually, 2,000. So if we have a doctor, one at the sub-county, that means we absorb 2,000. If we get more, we have two at the sub-county. So that we don't have patients coming from the sub-county to the district. The whole traffic of disease should be blocked there. Only referral cases should come to the health center for. Because at that time we had few doctors, we had gone up to the health center 4. But since we have got many doctors now, let's go down to health center 3. Have 1, have 2, have 3, and build up, so that all the diseases are localized. We don't have to have this traffic to Kampala, to Morago, to what? No. Let all the diseases be handled in Ntungamo, Mtibesha too. That's what they used to call Ntungamo, the sub-county. The sub-county where I was born. Now, finally, in Mr. Gorobi's speech, there was one thing which I think we may have to look at. The 8% tax on the fish maw, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they call it enuni in Uganda, the fish bladder. That fish bladder apparently is very much in high demand in some places, in China especially. And with my people, you remember the other time in the State of the Nation, I told you that Uganda can earn $156 billion each year from this fish maw. Now, one of the problems we have, which I want to write to the President of China about, is that China has put a tax on this fish maw entering China. So if you also put another tax here, I think we're undermining ourselves. I want to write to the President of China to ask him to remove the import tax on the fish maw. Now here you are putting a tax. That's not correct. I think we should do. And we are going to introduce we can create many jobs. The Minister of Fisheries of State, Helen Adoa, she knows the story. She knows the story of how we can use this fish maw to create a lot of jobs. So with these few words, I congratulate the Honorable Amos Rugorobi for reading the speech on my behalf. He has relieved me of the burden of having to read the speech myself. And you can see how I am learning how to exploit younger people. Exploit them, let them be able to do the work. And you just watch from behind, you see how they are doing the work. Many of these people, some of these people I have nominated to you, I have been studying them for a long time, and you will know more about them. Some of them have got very good qualities. The loyalty, they don't have endari, eyes which are squinted. Looking this, you don't know whether he's looking at you or looking at. Hardworking, not corrupt. So I thank you. I congratulate the Honorable Amos Lugorobe for his speech. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much.